So my producer, Eko, has brought the clarity.
Okay.
Justice Honyanuga serves as chairman.
Okay.
And then Homatou is part of the team.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
now let's move to the special prosecutor. There is a vetting that's going to happen today in Parliament. The nominee, the president's nominee to occupy the special prosecution position after Martin Amidu famously resigned is Mr. Kissi Agyabeng. I think when the appointment first came, when the nomination first came, it was a recommendation and then the nomination. People said perhaps he was a bit too young. I guess today we will see the different sides based on the questions that will be put to him. But let me ask you, let me start with you. Do you also have some kind of opposition to his appointment?
Yes. My leader cannot speak in Parliament and then I will depart. So I agree that it's quite young. He may not have the gravitas. He may not have the gravitas. You see, if you check the OSP law, we were very, very sure of what we were doing. Because I was in the thick of affairs. We were not simply looking for a special prosecutor who will be a lawyer of 15 years standing and all that normal criteria of high moral standing. No. In addition to those constitutionally defined criteria for purposes of appointment to a court of appeal, we're further looking for somebody of a corruption-related experience. So even if you went into the debate, initially the idea was that we could even get a foreigner to come and serve, but that got shut down. Because the overwhelming debate was that we could still get Ghanaian.
Because so I guess you were looking for an objective person, somebody who didn't belong to any of the
a lawyer of this caliber will be objective. But we were saying that we needed somebody who had, for instance, somebody who had served as Attorney General, as a principal state attorney, senior state attorney, done prosecutions, somebody who has worked with Yoko. We wanted somebody who had...
A retired officer or what?
Even a
retired?
No. If you were serving with Attorney General and you caught the eye of the president and you could be appointed. But we're looking for a relevant experience in terms of matters of fighting graft, either in the public service or within an international organization.
Okay.
So, for instance, we're also looking at the point where we could get a judge. We could get a judge appointed, a serving judge. So what would have happened is that the judge will leave the bench and take up the position and become a public prosecutor.
But you didn't put all that in the law.
No, but it is there. If you see, to be able to interpret what an experience in corruption and corruption-related fights, it means that as a judge, you must have been adjudicating matters of that. Prosecutions must have, cases of criminal nature must have come to you related of these matters. All right, so the issue about Kissi is that a top lawyer, very good, articulate, qualifies within those three criteria. Minimum qualification at the bar, is qualified, of high moral character. As for that barometer, we don't have any barometer to measure that. But it's not been involved in any scandal of any moral nature or of any other nature. So he qualifies. He's a Ghanaian, all right? But the law says, has he got an experience in fighting corruption or corruption-related matter? That's where the issue is. But as my lecturer in criminal law, it was TA to Professor Mensa Bonsu. He lectured me, I think, 2006. He went to Cornell and he came back from Cornell in 2006. So in our final year at the faculty, he was the TA to Professor Mensa Bonsu, who was taking us in criminal law at the faculty. So we have that relationship, and we have since remained. When we qualified, when we left law school in 2009, we left the faculty in 2007. Those days, we enter law school straight. So when we finished in 2009, we become close. So I want to assure him that we'll give him all the support. But he should go
have doubts with his
he doesn't have gravitas and all that.
Credentials.
I am saying, I spoke very carefully. I'm saying the issue about his appointment and qualification has to do with the fact that people don't see the fact that he's been involved in fighting corruption and corruption-related cases, which is a key part of the requirement. Notwithstanding.
You wish him well.
I wish him well.
Okay.
You understand?
All right, Vincent.
Yeah, Mama V, I do not think that you necessarily have to get a certain kind of gravitas before.
You say we need like a no-nonsense kind of person who can
That's
say
okay.
it as it
But
is.
In my definition, you need someone with principles, simplicity. Kissi Agyabeng lectured me. The first time I saw him was in the criminal law class. And I've known him as someone not just of high moral character. He is saying that he doesn't even know how there is a certain kind of barometer that you can use to measure someone with high moral character. But if you engage someone for quite some time, you are able to assess the person's integrity. You are able to assess the person's high moral character.
High moral character is a standard qualification.
Has the court
just allow me. Just allow me.
We haven't tested that yet. I think we've tested age.
Was Abban, wasn't it? No,
we've tested age, but we haven't tested high moral character.
Yeah. So, Mama V, I am of the view that he comes to the table with a normal, competent, he knows his stuff, and I think that I have no doubt in my mind that he will not be able to take up this task. Kissi Agyabeng, as we all know, will come to the table with some amount of experience in terms of criminal law, in terms of the number of cases that he's been able to deal with, in terms of corruption and what have you. So I have no doubt in my mind that Kissi Agyabeng will be able to succeed. Martin Amidu, as we all know, on November 15th, resigned on the basis of allegations that he made against the president of the land. I'm not able to substantiate those allegations, but I am cocksure that Kissi Agyabeng will be able to fill in the shoes or the gap that he left, because Martin Amidu came to the fore with so much hope, so much aspiration, so much conviction that he would be able to deal with corruption in this country, especially when we knew that there was a certain disability with respect to the office. Hold on. With respect to the Attorney General's office. Over the years, we realized that the Attorney General's office is supposed to be dealing with corruption and all that. Since 1992, we realized that there was a certain gap, and for that matter, the creation of the Office of the Special Prosecutor will be able to assist the government, or if you like, the state, to be able to deal with corruption. Unfortunately for us, he failed the people of Ghana. But I am hoping.
Did he fail or the government failed him?
No, he has made those allegations. Hold on, I have sat on this platform to tell you that I cannot substantiate those allegations that he has made. Those allegations he made, but I know that Kissi Agyabeng will be able to deal with corruption, as has been.
May I say this about Kissi, though? Every good criminal defense attorney will be a good prosecutor. I've been a good criminal defense attorney, and I think if I ever become a prosecutor,
he's giving himself fancy.
You're saying that
he could become a good prosecutor.
Yes.
That's why I say I'll give him the benefit.
Just a minute on the finance minister. Did he swerve Parliament or not?
He swerved us.
How is that?
And he answered tangential questions. And so my point is this: if the Minister of Finance cannot account for how much the president spends on his travels, how can he account for the expenditure of this country for the last 6 months on July 19th?
Really?
Oh, really? He says that budgetary.
He says we should. You see, you know, this question emanated through defense. Nitiwu says we should direct it to Minister of Finance. Finances now, we should take it to Ministry of National Security.
No, what I remember is
Yes.
at the time,
Yes.
the question had been filed, one to the defense minister and then to the finance minister.
Yeah, so
he came to answer the airworthiness of the jet that we already have.
at the time.
You come and answer question about airworthiness and leave the cost out. Now the cost directed at the Minister of Finance, he said we should direct the Minister of National Security. Very soon we will ask about road construction and they will tell us that it's a matter of national security.
See, I think that
everything is national security.
I think that you people should bow your head in shame. You know why? Because
they filed a similar question.
Because
it was they filed a similar question
I have
directed at the Ministry of Finance to tell this country the cost of travels by President Mahama from 2013 and 2016. And
it's a different administration, isn't it? Maybe things work differently.
No, they know they'll be embarrassed. So he chose to say that it's a national security matter. National security.
The finance minister,
travel,
the question that was posed to the finance minister was very succinct, was very clear. Indeed, he had no locus to
Couldn't he
answer.
have conferred with the National Security Ministry to get those details?
Can you go around all ministries? He goes to the Ministry of Education.
Mama, do you know that
can I make my point?
Payment, every public payment is accompanied by a warrant.
Let me make my point.
A warrant.
Can I make my point?
Through the gift system.
You are proposing for a time whereby even when Ghana Education Service or prison service makes any expenditure, you call upon the finance minister to come to parliament to come and answer for those expenditures that have been made. That is what you are doing.
That is not what we are saying.
The finance minister was clear that this is an issue of Office of Government Machinery or the Chief of Staff in collaboration with the National Security. And so if you want figures as to how much has been spent on the president's travels for the past few months, the best person who is placed to answer these questions is the National Security Minister.
What you need to do is media budget review.
What you guys need to do is that you just have to file another question, which I'm told they filed to the National Security Minister to come to the floor of Parliament.
Wouldn't this cost feature in the media budget review?
Answer to what you.
So what is it coming to tell us in the media budget review?
That there's going to be another question from our side to also inquire for the number of, like the amount of monies that have been used or that were used by President Mahama from 2013.
Why would you want to do that?
But why
not President Kufuor? Why not President Kufuor?
What is the consequence?
Why not President Kufuor?
You can also file. You can also file a question to get those answers. But I'm also promising you that we are going to do that. We are going to find out as to how much was spent from 2013 to 2016.
To what end?
So that you know the.
But the question they are asking is relevant to the taxpayer. You see, people want to know.
Look at the history as to how this question was asked. You just told him from the defense minister. They want to.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Not a figure.
Are you sure you have a media budget review?
Well, this is where we end the conversation. Yes, Vincent.
They have already put out that it's 2.8 billion Ghana cedis. So if you know that is
you have a media budget review for us.
They said so. So why are they in Parliament to ask the finance minister about the money if you already know the amount of money that was spent?
Do you have a media budget?
Gentlemen, it's been great having you. Thank you for the analysis. Stay with us. Up next, we're talking about state of play. See, state of play is not like this political. It's the political analysis that starts on.
Multimedia.
Oh my God, multimedia. This is a prompter for me, Mr. Dapamapo. I haven't asked for help. It starts on.
So what's that? Is it show or shoot?
It starts on social media. It starts on.
The media can also not take.
We will be back.